Hello and welcome to the 2018 football season. Today we're going to go over the rule changes for this year, some points of emphasis, some things that we've changed statewide, and we're going to review just briefly 2017 rule changes. You see the biggest one probably, well there's two big ones. This is one of them, K fouls on free and scrimmage kicks. There you see the rule references. They added a penalty option for Team R. All previous dead ball fouls, like offsides, legal formations, a pop-up kick, any kind of dead ball foul is still going to be a dead ball foul, the enforcement we've been doing. Live ball fouls, however, like a free kick out of bounds is untouched by R, illegal contact by K, or if you happen to have illegal participation, those will have the additional option of adding yardage at the end of the down. Of course, only if K is the next to put the ball in play. It's a tack-on penalty, and we will not tack on to the spot of first touching, since that in and of itself is essentially a penalty, so we're not going to tack on to first touching. So example play would be Team K kicks off, start the second half from the K40. Ball goes out of bounds at the R40 yard line untouched by R. Options available to Team R in the new rule. They can take the ball at the R35, which is one they've always had. They can take the ball at the R40, which is where it went out of bounds, and then tack on 5 yards. Or they can re-kick with a 5-yard penalty. The one in the middle, that's the new one. One thing we cannot do is if we give the ball at the R35, like we've always done, we cannot tack on yardage to that. Because that, again, that is kind of the penalty. So we can't, you can't double up on a penalty. So that's their only three options. Take it at R35, take it at R40, tack on 5 yards, or re-kick with a 5-yard penalty. Look at an example here. There the ball is going to go untouched, out of bounds. Looks like we're going to have the R32. So there are three options on this particular play. We can just give them the ball at 35, like we've always done, or we can give them the ball at 32 plus 5 yards, which would be 37, or they can re-kick with a 5-yard penalty. Probably going to take the tack on in this case, right? Because that gives them 2 extra yards. Here's an interesting one. So, what you're going to have here, you're going to have a double kick, which we would penalize from the 41 or 42. 42. So there are options here. 15 yards, which is a penalty for an illegal kick, 15 yards from this spot. They can re-kick 5 yards back, or they can just get the ball. They can get the ball here where they recovered plus 5 yards. There is for you can go with first touching here if you want to. But obviously they're going to take that penalty to 15 yards. Scrimmage kick. Once again, this new rule applies on the live ball fouls are simultaneous with the snap. So this is not going to go for false starts, snap infractions, legal subs, anything like that. This is only live ball fouls. Any kind of dead ball foul is still going to be a dead ball foul and will not be enforced with the new rule. Team K, again, cannot be next to put the ball in play, so R still got put in the play. And like a free kick out of bounds, this is an add-on yardage for the play. This does not apply to KCI. Again, KCI is a penalty in and of itself. So if you were to tack it on, that's like penalizing them twice. So it does not apply to KCI. Here's an example play. Team K punts to 6 on the line of scrimmage from the K40. Ball is caught and returned to our 38-yard line. What are the options? They can re-kick with a 5-yard penalty, or they can take the ball to the R43, which is 38 where they recovered it, or they returned it to, plus 5 yards. The second big new rule is basically took out the delay game penalty for not wearing illegal equipment and delayed the penalty for failure to wear required equipment. The big one that, of course, is knee pads. Knee pads got to cover the knees. Or if they're not wearing knee pads at all. New procedure. Players discover without the required equipment is wearing illegal equipment in a legal manner, and the absent but required equipment is not related to a foul by the opponent. Officials' timeout is to be called. Players will be replaced for 1 down or more until the required equipment is worn or legal equipment is worn legally. It's not required if halftime or overtime omission occurs. It has to be halftime or overtime. They cannot use a timeout to buy this player back in. They have to sit out or down unless it's a halftime or overtime. So end of the quarter, still got to sit out. Call a timeout, still got to sit out. Here's your example. An official observes a substitute run onto the field with pants that have no knee pads or are rolled up with knees uncovered. This is seen just before the ball is snapped or after the down has ended. Both situations, observing official calls timeout. This is an official's timeout. Player shall be replaced until problem is rectified unless halftime or overtime omission occurs. The big one here, let's knock this out in pregame. Let's not be sending a lot of players off the field. So if we can knock this out in pregame, I think that's going to ease a lot of our trouble. Visiting team, you're going to hear a lot, well, these are the only pants we brought, or we didn't bring any knee pads, or whatever. That's on them. They know the rule. They're being told of the rule. There's the issue. Alright. Got to be consistent with this. Again, pregame. Let's be consistent game to game, crew to crew. If there's major violations, let Georgia High School handle that. And of course, let's use common sense. All free kick formation infractions are now going to be signaled with the rolling fist. Except the offsides, which is still going to be encroachment, the hands on the hips. We used this last year. It's just not codified. This is the new blindside block. You're going to indicate personal foul before you go with this signal. So it's going to be the personal foul signal and then the fist bumps. The rules committee clarified that a passer, before he passes the ball, is not defenseless. The defenseless player rules do not apply to him until a legal forward pass is thrown. So even if he runs past the line of scrimmage and then throws the ball, so that's an illegal forward pass, he still does not have this. Still does not have the defenseless player protection. Before he passes the ball, he does not have the protection. Has to be until a legal forward pass is actually thrown. This is more of a clarification. Offense set for 1 second before they're ready for play and snaps the ball as soon as ready for play is blown. That's legal. It's not a false start. But they have to be set for 1 second. So what we're going to see in this play, and let's even assume that this team has been set for 1 second. You can see the referee is in the process of blowing the ready for play. It's like his hand is just now coming down. And we have a ball in the air. Obviously I don't have audio on this, and I don't have the second or two before this. But let's just assume this offense had been set for 1 second. As soon as that whistle chirps, if they're set for 1 second, they can snap this ball. Now this is hard to tell since we see the ball's in the air and we see a hand down. We don't know when the whistle was blown. If this ball is snapped before that whistle is blown, then we would have a foul. If they're set for a second, this whistle blows and it's snapped immediately, that's okay. But as long as they are set for 1 full second before the ball is snapped and the ready for play has been blown, then that's legal. On scrimmage plays, if the offense snaps and spikes the ball and there are only 2 seconds remaining, the time has expired. The reason for this is a team cannot snap, QB receive, throw motion, ball into the ground within 2 seconds. Even if a quarterback can do that, you still have to factor in the time for the electronic clock operator to see it, click the button. It's just a lot going on in 2 seconds. So if there's 1.9 seconds remaining, 1.7 or 0.8, they try to spike the ball, not going to happen. The quarter, half, game is over. Here's an example. And look, this particular play, this probably happened all in under 2 seconds. He does not do a real throw motion here. He's just going to drops it. Doesn't matter. They want that to be a spike. So, I mean, their only two options are a spike or a fumble. And I'm assuming they want that to be a spike. If they want that to be a spike, there needs to be more than 2 seconds remaining on this. And they're pointing at the clock saying, hey, we got more time. No. There's another 2 seconds. The game's over. This is right in the game. I can't remember how much time is left here, but his crew handled this very well. They handled this like they're supposed to. Less than 2 seconds. They're trying to spike it. Nope. Game's over. These are the points of emphasis from the Federation. Proper wearing legal equipment, pace of play, enforcement of penalties for personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct, and defenseless player, and the blindside block. There you know. We all know how these equipment's supposed to be worn. Biggest issue's always been the pants and the knee pads. And a lot of it was they look at the college games, see how those guys are wearing them, and they want to emulate that. College is cracking down on this too. So, you know, they can't use that excuse anymore. Pace of play. After the ball is dead on the previous play, the ready for play signal should be given 12 to 15 seconds later. That's your window. So if you have a coach saying you're too slow or you're too fast, tell him 12 to 15 seconds is the window. And as you can see now, you are backed by this. So you get those teams that want to hurry up and they want to run it fast, or you get one of those teams that just tries to slow the ball down. They're hey, you're blowing it too fast. 12, 15 seconds. That's the window. And that's from the time the ball is down on the previous play. Alright, this one's pretty simple. If there's contact, like a push, a shove, pulling a player off the pile, that's a personal foul. A non-contact, so profanity, vulgar language, taunting, whatever, those are UNSs. Those are your two options. Contact, you got a personal foul. Non-contact, a UNS. And remember, this is key because 2 UNSs and they're gone. There's not a limit on personal fouls. So make sure we're doing this correctly. A down runner's defenseless cannot protect himself against unnecessary contact and illegal blindside block. This first one, you see in play pick A, we see this a good bit. The runner's down and you'll have a player coming in. You especially see they come in kind of the head down. I mean, I really don't like that. I think it's a very dangerous play. And it's something we need to get out of the game. If the runner's down and a guy comes in late, we need to flag that. We need to flag it early. Get that out of the way. Because they really don't need to be doing that. Blindside block, we're about to go over. This is a defenseless player hit. They go right over the middle. And we're going to take a really good look at the end zone view. And you can see there, you know, if this player wraps up, I think we're okay. And that's one of the biggest things I could tell coaches when they say, you know, well, my defender's trying to make a play, he's going hard, you know, what do I tell him to avoid a foul here? Just tell him to wrap up. If he wraps up, 99% of the time this isn't a foul. And the 1% of the time it's called a foul, it shouldn't be. So if he wraps up, I think we're okay here. But he comes in kind of high, leaves the elbow, and you watch him, he never looks back for that ball. So that doesn't help him either. He knows what he did. He knows what he did. So, let's see, he comes in a little high. He's going to lay that elbow. You know, we got to get stuff like that out of the game. Blindside block, just review it real quick. Block against an opponent other than a runner who does not see the blocker approaching. You only have 3 criteria. All 3 of these have to be met. Defender must be in a position where he cannot see the blocker coming. The hit must not be initiated with open hands. And the hit must be forceful, include a shoulder dip, thrust, drive, or launch. All 3 have to be met in order for a blindside block. If you're missing one of those, you don't have a blindside block. Let's look at one from this punt. That happened right about now. Right there. See, he doesn't see that coming. It's a forceful hit. There's no open hands. He tries to throw his hands out later, but the initial force of that was with his shoulder and chest. Crew through on this. A very good job. And that is textbook blindside block. Here's another one. Let's watch this receiver right here down the bottom. And then he's going to stand over him. So you got 2 15-yarders right there. The blindside block and then the taunting. And again, we're not... The crackback block has not been outlawed. He has to use open hands. He used open hands right here. We got a clean hit. But he doesn't. He just comes in, lays a hit, and then stands over him. You know, we got to take that out. That's definitely a blindside block. That would be the deeps key. This is one I kind of hate. Is by definition a blindside block. It's one of those that 5 years ago would have got you a decal on your helmet. Right there. That sucks. Sucks that we got called out a blindside block. But it meets all the criteria. And it's one of those hits that we have to eliminate that hit in order to eliminate the big ones. You know, like I said, it sucks. Because that's a good block. Kid doing a good job. Just got to come in there with some open hands. You know, I mean, they don't have to look like Frankenstein's monster running around the field with their hands out the front. But just good initiation there with open hands, and we have no problem. And again, it sucks that we have to cut that one out, but you got to do it in order to eliminate the nasty ones. Pop-up kick, remember, kick driven directly into the ground, and then up in the air as a manner kick directly off of the tee. We went a little bit further and said anything above head height of the kicker is going to be considered a pop-up kick. So here's one. This ball is going straight into the ground, and at the apex, back up, at its apex, it's above the height of the kicker. So this needs to be called a pop-up kick. We did not call it one here, but we should have, because you see, it's driven straight into the ground. And then above the head height of the kicker. Should have been a pop-up kick. Should have been called a pop-up kick. You blow that dead immediately. And it's a 5-yard penalty. Re-kick. Here's another one. This was not quite what we intended with the pop-up kick. But still meets all the criteria. Driven straight into the ground at his apex as well above the height of the kicker. You know, and it goes a little deeper. A true pop-up kick is supposed to come down right at 10 yards. This one goes a little deeper. So, you know, the intent of the rule is not really met. But again, if we're going to knock them all out, we have to knock out this one. Like I said, it meets all the criteria. Straight into the ground. At his apex, it's above the head of the kicker. Blow your whistle, shut that down. And then re-kick him 5 yards further. With less than 2 minutes left in the half, the game clock running. A false starts. The offending team may choose to start the game clock on the snap. So remember, this rule changed last year, 3-4-7. Gotta be under 2 minutes. Clock's gotta be running. And then the offended team can choose to start the ball on the snap. Or start the clock on the snap. This is a weird one that you're rarely going to see. After ready for play and after snappers in contact with the ball, encroachment offensive player contacts the ball or the snapper's arm or hand. See it right here? You gotta slow it down and see. It's gonna happen quick. And it's usually gonna happen in this situation, victory formation. But that would be encroachment. You gotta have quick eyes on that one. Remember, we took out face guarding. The only time you can have this is if there's contact. So here's an example one. You know, this initial stuff here, just throwing his hands out there like that. I don't think he ever contacts them. So 2-3 years ago, that was face guarding, a DPI. This year, unless he contacts them, that's nothing. Alright guys, good luck in the season. I believe scrimmages start this week. Good luck in your scrimmages. Work hard. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. And I hope you all have a great season.